Going on, fam? We hard on the yard. Got that boy Debo out with Black Pearl. We're trying to get another breeding done before the end of the year. I think today's gonna be the day. I'm pretty positive today's gonna be the day. Cause Debo here got about 10, 15 more minutes. And we're gonna bring out Domino. So you better get after it. But she is at the right time. She's a standing heat is what we call it. The female has to position herself for him to be able to breed. He's normally it's going to be pointed in the wrong direction until she adjusts herself for him to breed. And she will only do that when she's fertile to breed. So we're at that point now. So we could just talk about artificial insemination versus natural locks. Or I could just talk about some drawbacks to natural breeding. So maybe we'll do both. I prefer natural lock just as something that I wanted to do with my camp. I wanted to make sure that I was breeding dogs that could reproduce. It's okay for them to have a C-section or things like that to help with the labor. But I wanted to make sure that I had dogs that were capable of breeding. A stud that was capable of breeding, for one, that could reach it and be up there long enough to breed, and a female that could breed. So I've always wanted mine natural, and it cuts out a lot of hassle for me. Now, if you don't have a stud on your property, it's harder to do that. So when you don't have a stud on your property, it's not your personal stud, you have to do AI. If you wanted to get a stud from me, you want to get a stud credit from me, I would ship you some semen overnight, and you'd go get the artificial insemination done at your clinic. So you have to do a reverse progesterone test to see if her numbers are right for that. And when her numbers get to the right level, they will let you do the AI. You can do a surgical AI, which there's a process and it has a camera and everything, and they can go straight and then it plant it straight into the right place. It's the most most foolproof if you're going to do AI. It's the surgical, or I think they call it TCI. But you also have, come on, Pearl, come on. Natural artificial insemination. You can go on Amazon right now and get an artificial insemination kit for about $20. And that kit comes with everything you need to pull semen and to insert semen. You do the math. It's only $20. You can get it on Amazon like that right now, like I say. And that's the quickest way that people get into breeding, is they can do that. With that kit, now you can breed two dogs that were never supposed to be bred together. They can get bred together. So it's an upside and a downside to it, I think. But with natural locks, the drawback can be that you don't get enough of the eggs fertilized. So I really don't advise natural lock unless you have the stud there, It's good to always find something to chew on. Come on, bro. Come on. Unless you have the stud there, because you got to fertilize all the eggs. When you do the artificial insemination, you're putting them in the right place for all the eggs to be fertilized off top. But when it's natural, you have to let them fertilize those eggs. The semen could stay there for about 10 days. And it's best to get as much done on the first day as possible, because when you get to that veterinary clinic, they're going to ask you how many days, and you need to know how many days it was from the time that they locked until now. Look at it. Just why would you do that, Debo? Dog is something else. So you have to keep track the day that they lock, because 60 days later, we're starting to look at the C-section. 60 to 62 days, we're going to go in there and do a reverse progesterone test and see if she's under a 2. Then we'll do a C-section. It's my recommendation that all American bullies get a C-section. It is one of the breeds that needs that. They're not the only breed. There's several breeds. French bulldogs need it. English bulldogs need it. Pretty much any smaller breed, muscular or big-headed dog, needs a C-section. It's always a risk. And when you're a breeder, you just do the C-section. For bullies, absolutely you cannot do it. You got to have a C-section or you're going to run into some big trouble. They got me out here in the woods, y'all. Oh, my goodness. I ain't been back here in so long. What are y'all doing back here? Wait. He's done gotten tired. You got back to the end of this interview. Tell me to the end of this recording. I'm going to put Domino's ready to go. I would like to get this one done. They're more of a good size. But Domino to Black Pearl did bring me Legend and Miss Noe, so that was a great breeding. We just didn't do enough, and that's what I'm saying. When I bred them the last time, they only locked a couple times, and we didn't get enough of the eggs fertilized. We ended up with only a couple pups. Bring that here. Bring that here. Bring that here. Bring that here. Pearl. That's my leather glove I've been looking for. I can't even go riding. Y'all know there it is. That's the OJ glove right there. Come on. I knew somebody would find it. I knew one of y'all was gonna find it. Can't even go riding. But he's been trying a long time today. I've already had Domino out, and I thought about my math and which one I want, and I'm kind of leaning more towards Debo. I would rather just go ahead and go more standard and go ahead and take that over. But Domino to Pearl, we got Legend, so I can't go wrong. All I have to make sure of is that we fertilize the eggs as much as possible. And now, just a note, when they have a natural tie, they'll stay tied together for a while. The male will actually swell and lock in, and he'll be locked in her for a matter of time. That's how you know the breeding took. If they don't lock up, they didn't breed. But when they do tie lock, you want them to be tied for a while so that they can fertilize those eggs. So I like to let them run and get out here and get as much work in as possible before they tie, so they'll be a little tired and they can sit there. Why? Because all while they're just standing there, he's steadily fertilizing the eggs. The longer he's there, the more you're getting to fertilize. And some studies show that you can, pacing, panting, the pant level matters as far as production, sperm production, semen production, however you want to say. But I always like to let them go for a while so they'll stay locked for a while. But for me, I like to let them stay together about 3 or 4 days, depending on the nature of them. Pearl, come here. Pearl's a pretty good girl. She's good with anybody. Black Widow, she might get into it with you, so I have to watch them. But the ones that can, I want them to stay together at least 4 or 5 days so I can get as many eggs fertilized as possible and I can have a big litter as possible. Come here, Pearl. Pearl. I think I'm gonna just put them together because I'm pretty I like the breeding with Domino though, because the pups are thick. Domino got just the perfect width, perfect head, everything. He's got the perfect color for me. Debo is just more prototype of the standard bully to me. So I would rather breed Domino to Candy Crush and go ahead and make some good pockets. So I'm trying to give Debo a shot, but he better get to it. If you're interested in getting a pup, you need to become a hardcut pup pick member. Just hit that join button right below the video, and it'll show you the details on what a member gets, all the perks for being a member. And the biggest perk is you'll be on the list to get the first picks of the pups. Now, the next litter we have coming, I have a waiting list that are already there. They had 5 people on it, and they are still going to be honored. So they'll have first priority. After that, other people that are pick members. So if you want a pup, become a hardcut pick member. So you can get updates and everything. And when I go to do the C-section, everybody will get to be live with me. You know, I'm not going to do that to the public. If you don't want to be a pick member, but you want to be behind the scenes, just become a member. It's only $2.99 to become a member. It's only $6.99 to become a pick member, man. $6.99 to be on the waiting list for one of the coldest bully camps in the world. $6.99 to be on the waiting list. And we'll do our screen from there. We want to get good homes. We've been getting good homes so far. We've been real lucky. Pearl, come here. Pearl. Pearl, come here. Debo. We've been great with puppy placement. They've all found real good homes. I had the waiting list, and it seemed like I wasn't able to do what I want to screen with that. So we're gonna do it this way. So if you want to be behind the scenes, you need to be a pick member, or at least a family member to see something. And when you get through messing around, playing around, looking around, you need to come on off the bench for the big win, man. And get you something hard cut. So